Good afternoon, good evening, or good morning, wherever you are in the world. Today, I'm back with Nathan Bell for one of his commentary videos, video podcasts, and Nate wants to have a chat about faith.
Yeah, well, when I was in my 20s, I had a lot of faith. I believed in God. I've never identified with any specific church or any specific religion. I've always been into looking into all the religions and seeing what teachings they have and what knowledge and wisdom they have to offer. I still think there's a lot of knowledge and wisdom in different faiths, but when I was in my 20s, I believed in God and I would talk to God frequently. I would pray to God and I would communicate with God. He never spoke back except when I was psychotic. Sometimes he spoke back when I was psychotic, but I would talk to God a lot, and I believed that God wanted the best for me and that God was looking out for me, and that I had some purpose in life and that I was going to live a good, rewarding life, and I believed that I served a higher purpose and that I served good and that I was going to do good work for God in the world. Now I I see in the world, I see that a lot of people of faith, their lives don't work out and the things that they believe don't work out. So I've abandoned any form of faith and I don't talk to God anymore, because the reality is you can believe that God is looking out for you and things still go wrong and your life doesn't work out and you end up dying. So I just see that harsh reality of the world now, that believing in some divine entity doesn't protect you. There is no divine protection. You know, all the things that I wanted to achieve in my life haven't really come to fruition, and I've put a lot of work in to my goals and wanting to build a better world and do good work in the world, and largely my work has been ignored, my art has been ignored, my dreams have been ignored, they haven't mattered, and my activism has been ignored, and my work to promote political ideas and freedom of information and different issues that I champion has been ignored. It's all fallen on deaf ears. So I certainly come to see now that I don't have any divine purpose, because nothing I do goes anywhere. So I've just come to realise that was all just a delusion. So it is really a delusion, faith. There is no divine protection. I do still think the universe could be a computer simulation, simulated by a higher entity for the purpose of an experiment to see what would happen. But in my mind, the gods of the simulation don't protect anyone. The whole purpose of the simulation is just to run the simulation and see what will happen. And I only believe that the universe could potentially be a simulation, as I've said in previous videos, because one day we will be able to simulate universes and that will make us gods. So it is theoretically possible that there is a creator, because we could become creators of a simulated universe. But that's just a hypothesis, and it's not that. And the fact that it's possible doesn't mean that it's the case. So I certainly see now that there is no protection, and I worry about these people who think they have divine protection. It's like I said, you say, oh, everything's going to be all right, everything's going to work out. Not necessarily. Things go wrong and it's all just chance, and there is no destiny, there is no fate. It's all just chance and random. So anything can happen and anything can go wrong. You can believe in God as much as you want. You can believe that you have divine protection. Then you get hit by a bus, and that's just the reality of life in the universe. So I've completely abandoned faith, particularly in the last 10 years, as things didn't work out the way I wanted them to, and certainly I haven't achieved the grandiose goals that I set out to achieve. I set out to inform people and to start a political movement, and most of the stuff that I've done trying to promote political ideas and good ideas in the world has fallen on deaf ears. So there clearly wasn't any greater purpose to any of that. That was all just a waste of time. And I certainly wasn't being... And, you know, many times while I've been unwell, I've felt that I receive messages, or that there are messages in things. I see things happening in the world around me and I think, oh, that's a message, that's a divine message. Coincidences happen and you think it has some spiritual meaning, but I've abandoned all that now. Because none of the messages that I got while I was delusional ever amounted to anything. They didn't go anywhere. You know, I've had some very strange things happen while I've been in psychosis, things that you would have swore were some sort of psychic message. I've had people say things to me and coincidences happen which were just bizarre and seemed like they had some deeper meaning to them, or some deeper, there was some structure working that was giving me cues and clues, but none of those things ever go anywhere. And years later, I'm left still not having achieved the goals that I wanted to achieve, and none of those secret messages, those divine messages, ended up amounting to anything. So I've abandoned all of that, and now I do see faith as a delusion, but I respect people's right to faith, because we shouldn't tell people what to believe. We're all individuals living our own lives, and we have a right to prescribe to our own beliefs. But I really say to people who believe that they have divine protection, really just think about that, because look at the world and look at the tragic things that happen to people. There's clearly no structural purpose, and things aren't necessarily going to work out. For most people in this world, things don't work out. For the vast majority of human beings, if you look around the world at the wars and the poverty and the suffering, for we're very privileged here in Australia in the first world, because for the vast majority of human beings that live now, and for the vast majority of human beings who have lived throughout history, life has been a matter of survival and suffering. And there is immense suffering in the world and immense tragedy in the world, and that is the experience for the majority of people. So I think believing in faith and believing in protection is almost a thing that comes with being a privileged individual who lives a comfortable life, where you're never confronted by the reality of suffering in the world. So you're prone to believe in fanciful ideas like everything will work out, but that's not the reality for most people. Most people's lives across this planet are terrible, and people die in tragic circumstances all the time. So I've completely abandoned faith. Some small part of me still believes that there was some purpose to my life or some meaning to my life. And more importantly, I think it's important just to do good in the world, because that's the right thing to do. You don't have to do good in the world because you believe you serve some good. Do good in the world because it's important to bring good into the world. We want to live in a good world, so we need people to do good things in the world. But yes, totally abandoned faith in recent years because too much has gone wrong and too much hasn't worked out. And now I'm determined that nothing is going to work out, and that everything I've done was pretty much just a waste of time. So drop a comment in the comment section about whether you have faith in some divine being that protects you, or whether you're an atheist and you deny those sorts of thoughts.